viewers. Today I'm going to be showing y'all the easiest way to do a skull mount. There's usually two ways, or two things that end up happening when you're wanting to do your own skull mount. Number one, as soon as you shoot the animal, cut off the head, you bring it back home, you get your Havlon or whatever out, you skin it out, take off as much meat as you can, pull out the eyes, take it in, and then boil it, get off the remaining meat, bleach it, get it all done, knock it out, knock it out in a portion of a day or so. But it's a lot of work. Then there's the second way, which usually most people end up doing, including myself. Get back, it's a long weekend, you're exhausted, you have the head, you go, oh, I'll put it in a black trash bag and put it in the freezer until I can get around to it. I hate throwing things out, especially skulls. You see all the the antlers and the mounts that I have here, and I can tell you when and where I shot each one, and the memories and the whole hunt behind it, and they're just great ways to relive those memories and to share them with people. I'm going to go ahead and step y'all through how to do it, and it is the easiest way, period. There's no easier way to do it. Let me go ahead and grab the other stuff, and I'm going to set up, and I'll meet y'all down there, and we'll walk through how to exactly do it, so y'all can benefit and save a ton of time on doing these skull mounts. Let's get to it. First, you're going to get your bucket and your black trash bag. Go ahead and open up your black trash bag, but don't put the top over it so you're like doming it in. Just put it on flat and then fold it once. So it's a little thicker. So you're kind of doing two layers. Then go ahead and get your tape. And wrap it around the circumference of the bucket. But make sure it's on there good. Get it pretty tight up top. Then get your sharp object, whatever it might be. And put your holes. Now once you're at this point, go ahead and get your water and pour it in. Like I said, you can do this beforehand. Just, put 4 or 5 cups, 3 or 4 inches in the bottom of the bucket. That's all you really need. And by putting the holes in there, if you get a little bit of rain, it'll help keep the moisture in there. You might want to add water every once in a while, so make sure it's damp. But once they start kneading it down and getting after it, it'll stay a pretty cozy environment. And another thing that I really didn't mention before, I'm in, South Texas, where it's a little warmer. So your temperature is gonna play a role. If it's cold year round, this might not be the best technique for you. But if you can get some warm time in there, where you can get some maggots on it and get things to start breaking down the warmer temperatures, then you're pretty much golden. So it might take a little bit of playing around with the time frame. Like I said, mine was there 7 months because I honestly forgot about it, which is good. But probably in 5 months it was done. So there's going to be time frame, especially what animal you do. You do a hog skull, something a little bigger, it's going to take a little longer. You do, raccoon, squirrel, something like that. It's not going to take too long. Alrighty, so here we are about 7 months later. The other day I went ahead and took off the tape and the black trash bag and poured out, the nasty water and everything, and washed off the skull. And this is seriously all that's left. So take a look. All right, here's the bucket I put it in, poured everything out and all that. Washed off the skull, and here it is. And then, besides the water and such that was in there, we have just the hair, just balled up. Hair and, a little bit of whatever else, just organic matter that's left. But, that's it. It just all separated, all pretty much digested by, the bacteria and the maggots and all that. So, zero work. There's a skull. and there's all the organic matter that was left, and just poured out. Like I said, all I did was just washed off the skull. Alright, as far as prep work on the skulls, you know, once you get them out, they're going to be a little, you know, they're going to have a little bit of gunk on them, they're going to have some hair on them, so go ahead and wash it off, clean it up a little bit. Here's the hydrogen peroxide I'm using. Salon Care 20. What you want is the 20% hydrogen peroxide. You know, don't go to the store, Walmart or H-E-B, and think you're saving money or doing whatever, because it's not going to work worth a dang. So get the 20%, be a man, go in there to the salon and say you want some hydrogen peroxide and get it done right. Alright, so now I'm going to go ahead and get my skull. Did a little bit more prep work, got it cleaned up a little bit better. I'm putting them teeth up so the teeth stay in and don't fall out anywhere. Then I'm just going to go ahead and pour in the hydrogen peroxide on top. Alrighty, here we go. Okay, you just need enough to cover them. Don't be the champion and try to pour 3 in there. It's not going to do you any better. Just try to cover them, you know, maybe an inch above, and let them go to work. Alrighty, now that the hydrogen peroxide is in, go ahead and get it, and you know, you can cover it. I would recommend covering it, putting it somewhere up high and safe, away from your beloved cats or dogs, you know, because I'm pretty sure your wife would kill you. Your wife, girlfriend, whatever would kill you if you came in here and one of their cats were drinking it and found floated up dead. Okay, now for the moment we've all been waiting for. I'm sure y'all have just been chewing at the bit to see how they look. So here we go. This was the javelina skull we put in about 4 days ago, and we're going to go ahead and take it out and get it all dried and set up. Okay, you notice I'm using these yellow gloves. I'd go ahead and do the same if I were you. This peroxide's pretty stout. It can aggravate your skin, or, you know, God knows what else it actually does. So if I were you, I would just, you know, take precautions, put them on, maybe avoid a breakout, which I seemed to get the first time I used it. Okay, let's go ahead and take it in, and going to do a little bit of work on the teeth, just as far as gluing them down and making sure everything's snug for setting it up. Okay, another thing real quick. Do not be a hero and try to use straight bleach. I know this from experience because I tried it. And gets them white quick, you know, everything's great, but it flakes off, gets all powdery, gets nasty. The bone kind of like crisps off and comes off in flakes, and it's just a mess. Don't do it that way. Do the peroxide, you won't regret it. It'll look fantastic. Alright, here's my first attempt at a hog skull. I did this roughly 5-6 years ago, and it turned out, I mean, pretty good for my first attempt. At least I thought so then. But, you know, as time went on, I started seeing the effects of using straight bleach. And that's the flaking of the bone, the more powdery looking skull, you know, just little things like that. It's, you know, it's not a terribly big deal, but when you could have done it right and made it turn out 10 times better, then it kind of magnifies it a little bit. But as you see a little closer, you can see where it's just peeling and flaking off, you know, right there, and numerous spots on the skull. It's been doing this ever since I did it. So for now, I'm sticking with peroxide, and I'll bring that other javelina skull that we were working on earlier, put them side by side, and let y'all just get a look. Maybe you can tell the difference to the camera, maybe not, but hopefully it'll give you all side by side so you can truly determine what y'all want to do. Now I'm just letting the skulls dry. You can use a fan or just set them outside for a little bit. Alright, for gluing on the teeth, this is what I use. It's a 2-part epoxy, and as a very good track record with me in the past. Let's go and look a little closer. Okay, it says it's water resistant. Okay, I guess that's good. But the main deal is right there, dries clear. That's what we want. You don't want to get the other stuff where you put it on there and anywhere you have the glue, it dries an amberish color and really takes away from the mount's aesthetic look. Alright, there we go. It's looking good. Alright, here we go. Both of these front teeth have worked their way a little loose, so I'm going to go ahead and pull them. Get the epoxy. You know, make sure they're dry so it takes to it. Go ahead and, you know, you don't need much. This is 2-ton epoxy. You know, you could probably use bubble gum and be fine, but might as well do it right so it'll last. Alright, I barely, you know, covered the upper end of it. That's all you really need to do. Just put it right along the edges, put it on pretty thin, you know, put a little bit more. Okay, now let's slide this sucker back in. Oh yeah, that's snug. Good deal. There we go. It's looking good. Now I'm going to work on the molars. The molars, I'm just going to kind of run a strip across the inside, right in there, because it'll be less noticeable, and it's all you really need. Alright, now for the front ones, I'm going to do the same thing, just put a little bit on the inside. This guy is done, so I'm going to go and set him off to the side. Do the same thing for the lower jaw. Alright, this one, still in there somewhat snug, so I'm not going to mess with him too much. This guy, on the other hand, is pretty loose, so pull him out. Put this on the back quarter. Go ahead and slide him back in. Just finished up all the gluing, and I'm going to go back one more time and give you a quick run through. Alright, 2 big boys, do the bottom quarter of the teeth and then slide them in, and that'll keep the glue from being inside and not make a mess. Alright, for the molars, you gotta do the inside right in there, inside on both, and that'll hold them, you know, more than enough, and you don't see any of the glue residue on the outside. Just do the exact same for this bad boy. Just for the front teeth, I did a bead right along the inside here. You know, just made me feel a little better, had a little bit extra, so used it. Did the same for these top 2. Did the bottom quarter, slid them in, you know. Turned out pretty good. Can't see the glue residue, it's kind of nestled up in there. Alright, then for the molars, did a bead on the inside of each side. And that finishes that up. So I'm going to let it sit, give it a good 30 minutes, then I'll take it up there and compare it to the one that I bleached prior. Give you a little bit of side-by-side comparison. Okay, so here's the side-by-side. This is the one with the bleach. All the flaking, the powdery look. Can't really see, you know, the true character of the skull. Here's the one with the peroxide. can really get in there and see, you know, the depth and the contour and the shadow and everything of this one. Just finished showing y'all the easiest way I know how to do a skull mount. I'm not claiming to be an expert by any means. I just know the pain it is to do a good skull mount, and decided to go out on a limb and try something a little new, and it yielded a pretty good mount, you know, as y'all saw. So next time you shoot something and you don't want to just stuff it in the freezer, you don't want to get to it immediately, go ahead and, you know, follow the steps I showed you and give it a shot and see what happens. Get back to me. I mean, I'm curious as well. So thanks for watching. Throw us a thumbs up, and we'd love to see some of y'all subscribe.